welcome Lars Callieou.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming, everybody. Welcome down. Beautiful audience. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Turned 30 years old this year. I'm getting older. I turned 30 this year. That's all right. Thanks. I appreciate it. Well, I mentioned this to a friend of mine. I mentioned I was starting to get some wrinkles. And she said, that's okay. There are household items that will help you get rid of wrinkles. I said, what's that? She said, Preparation H. Yeah, I Googled it to make sure she was telling the truth. I thought I was being punked. I smeared around my eyes. She was like, ha, 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 gotcha. Like, oh, and it was your father's applicator. She told me cucumber slices would help as well. And have you heard tea bags? How the hell would you ask one of your buddies to do that? That's an awkward conversation right there. Hey man, I just need you to teabag me, I don't know. You could just set your nutsack on my eyes for a minute. That would explain how they found out about the Preparation H. Your testicles didn't seem to do anything, but that hemorrhoid cream got rid of my crow's feet. I went to the grocery store and I bought a tube of Preparation H and a large cucumber. I didn't realize how it looked till the cashier started laughing at me. I said, oh my God. It's for my wrinkles. Under my eyes. I think my favorite game growing up was Operation. I loved Operation. My brother and I would up the stakes. We'd play it in the bathtub. That game's a little more difficult if you're sitting in 2 feet of water. Like, oh. Do you smell Pop-Tarts? The Snoopy snow cone maker was also a great toy. I loved the Snoopy snow cone maker. Yeah, it was awesome. You put ice in the top of this thing and you ground it down like a cheese grater. Snow would come out the other side. You'd color it snow cones. If I knew how to make margaritas back then, I would have been the most popular kid in the first grade. Would have been like, 2 more of these and those My Little Pony panties are coming off. Joke's a touch pedophily. Can you imagine trying to sell some of the games we play to kids nowadays? Pick-up sticks? Explain that one to them. Let's play a game of pick-up sticks. Nephew, how do you play that? Well, we take a pile of sticks and just dump them out on the floor. Then I pick one. Then you pick one. Then I pick one. And if you move one, you lose your turn. Oh no, not my turn. Their video games are way better than mine. I had a Coleco. I remember a Coleco. It was a terrible system if you go back and look at it now. And now they have the Nintendo Wii. It does everything. They have put it in a steering wheel so it drives and a gun so it shoots. It occurred to me you could invent a game for the Nintendo Wii that would teach a woman how to give a proper hand job. There'd be a tutorial, like in the sports games. You know, you're gripping it too tight, or you're not moving it fast enough, and the girl with the high score would be the one spitting on the controller. She'd be like, two, like, the game would say things like, finish him. I had a woman say to me, yeah, well, you could invent a game that would teach a guy how to give a woman an orgasm. I said, yes, but the buttons would change every time. Hey, that got me the high score last time. Now the game won't even turn on. Somebody'd walk into the room, I'd be pouring lemon gin into the Nintendo Wii. There'd be levels, I would imagine, there would be levels for the game, and you'd work your way. In order to beat the game, I think the boss at the end would be whiskey drunk boyfriend. Like, my arms are tired. Use your mouth. I get to travel all over doing this job. I went down to Houston, Texas. After one of the shows, we were at a club. The bartender found out I was Canadian. This is what he said to me. He said, "Y'all from Canada? We had a Canadian guy here last week. He left his jacket. Would you take it back to him?" I was this close to explaining to Captain Geography that we have 30 million people in our country. Then I realized the jacket would fit. I said, "Oh, that's Chad's. I play hockey with him. I know whose jacket that is." I did a show for a stagette recently. It was a bachelorette party, and the bride was right in the front row, and I asked the bride-to-be how the guy proposed. She said, "In a mall parking lot." I said, "Wow, I can just imagine how that went." "Oh my God, it says positive." She was mad at me for the whole show. But she was in her second trimester. So I had something cool happen the last time Metallica was coming through town. I won backstage passes. It was amazing. I'm a big fan, so it was cool. After the show, the whole band comes back. I said, "Oh my God, I have loved your music forever. I have all of your albums downloaded." I asked them if they would sign a blank CD, but they were angry. Upset. I don't swear much in my act. I think one of the reasons I don't swear much, my mother took that out of me when I was a child. She washed my mouth out with soap. It happened to me. I was watching a show called Romper Room. I don't know if you remember Romper Room, but the host of the show would hold up the mirror and she would look through it at the TV and she would say, "Romper, Stomper, hey daddy do. I see Billy and David and Jessica and Sally." I waited for 2 years to hear Lars not once. Finally, I just snapped. I was like, "I'm right here, you cross-eyed bitch!" You don't see all your friends at play. And then my mother washed my mouth out with soap. And that's the only time I ever wished I was deaf. 'Cause then she would have just washed my hands. I got to go to Las Vegas for a friend's stag party. That was a good time. Down to Vegas. On the flight, they seat me next to my friend Derek, and before takeoff, I look over. He has a white knuckle grip on the chair. I've known the guy forever. I had no idea he was terrified of flying. So I did what any good friend would do in this situation. I teased him. I said, "Hey man, does that wing look bent to you?" I started singing Buddy Holly tunes for him. The captain comes on. The captain's like, "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain, Jeff Boyd, speaking." I said, "That's the guy we're doing shooters with in the bar." We get into the flight. Derek falls asleep. So I push the button to call the flight attendant over. Boom! She stops by. She said, "How can I help you?" I said, "You know the oxygen mask you use for pre-flight demonstration? Could I borrow that for a minute?" She brings it to me. I wait for a bit of turbulence, and I wake Derek up. Now, I think this is hilarious. Until we go through customs, and he tells them I have 2 pounds of hash in my ass. You win this round, Derek. You win this round. Those customs guys can be really anal. I got a phone call from Student Loan while I was in Las Vegas. Student Loan phoned me. They phoned and said, "This is Student Loan." I said, "I'm not in the country right now. Can I give you a call back in a week when I'm in Canada again?" One of my friends said, "Who is it?" I was like, "Oh, Student Loan." He said, "Really?" He grabbed the phone out of my hand. He said, "He's in Las Vegas. Hold on." Red, come on, Red. It's black. He still owes you the money. A friend of mine was going on a date last week, and she phoned me up. She said, "Oh, I'm going on this date, and my hair straightener broke. Oh, no, I really like the guy. Oh, I want the date to go well." And I had no idea how much a hair straightener cost. I'm like, "Well, just shell out the $35 and buy a new one." She said, "Those are $200. I said, "$200? Oh, my God. Like, just wear a low-cut shirt. He won't even know you have a fucking head." The friend who was going on a date, she's a sweetheart. I go for coffee with her all the time. She talks a lot, just blah, 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 chatty McChatterson. I turned to her, I said, "Here's what you're doing. Here's what I want you to be doing." She said, "Why do you walk around with a microphone everywhere you go? That's a little weird." I wish every audience could be like you guys. I was on my way to a show, and I passed a truck on the highway that said "invisible fence" on the side. As I drove by this truck, I read "invisible fence." I thought, how easy would that job be? You could show up for every service call. "There you go, ma'am, 2 kilometers of invisible fence. I'm gonna need cash." They'd phone you angry, like, "My dog keeps getting away." And go back over there, "Well, you left the gate open, you gotta..." A friend of mine wants to break up with this girl he's been dating for a little while, but he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. He thinks she's going to take it rough. I said, "Well, then do something that would make her want to break up with you. For example, go out and get a pound of icing sugar and just dump it out on your coffee table." When she comes over, have some on your face. Say, "I need to borrow $5,000. You might have to do a rail of icing sugar, but she'll hit the bricks. Unless she likes cocaine, then you're in big trouble. She sees it, "Rock and roll, party time." Like, this is icing sugar. I can't afford the pure shit. It's been cut a few times. That dealer duped me. I saw a headline. I was flipping through the newspaper, and as I turned the page, I read this headline. It jumped out at me. It said, "Impaired GPS." I thought, wow, I could use one of those. There's been a few times I've been impaired. It would be great to have a GPS. You'd say something like, "Turn left, she has a mustache." Like, "Oh, thanks. GPS." One of my friends said, "Well, what if it's the GPS that's impaired?" That would be horrible. Get into the vehicle. "Hey, GPS, how do I get home?" "I love you, man." I was at a show, and there was a girl in the audience drinking red wine, and I went up to the waitress, and I said, "I would like to buy that girl a glass of red wine." And a half hour goes by, and nothing gets taken over to the table, so I went back to the waitress. I said, "Are you going to bring her a glass of red wine?" She said, "Oh, you wanted me to bring her one. I just took one off her bill and put it on yours." Who the hell does that? As a guy, you're hoping for a bit of an icebreaker, like, "This is from the gentleman over there. I don't want to have to roll up on a table full of girls as they get their bill. Hey, ladies, if you take a close look at your tab, you'll notice there's no tax. I had them move that to my bill." That's the only place you can buy stuff for people you don't know. I don't think it would work anywhere else in society. I don't think you could be at the grocery store, have some girl unload her basket on the conveyor belt, grab one of her items. "I got your monostat. I'll take care of that for you." Preparation H and a cucumber? I don't think so. I think we're pretty good there. Easter was fun this year for me. I had a blast on Easter. Following a show, I went out with a couple. I'd never met them before. A lovely couple. They were tying one on. They were drinking their faces off. And then they told me why. The husband said it's a tradition for he and his wife to hire a babysitter the Saturday of the Easter long weekend. And then they go out and they get completely annihilated. And then they go home and they hide their kids' Easter eggs. They said the next day it's a game for everybody. Oh, I don't even remember hiding one there. Who puked behind the couch? One guy said to keep his kids busy all day, he just tells them he hid them. Keep looking, the Easter Bunny's tricky. I was talking to some girls after a show, and they were talking about giving out fake numbers to guys. And I've never been given a fake number. Like, I don't ask for a lot of numbers, but this girl said there's something called the rejection hotline. Yeah. It's a fake number that girls give to guys. When the dude phones it, an automated message comes on and goes, "You are a loser." It's a minute-long message, too. My friend got it. One girl said what she did is she just changes one digit on her phone number. So it's her number, but it's one digit off her real one. If I ever get a fake number, I am going to try every combination of that phone number till I find her. "Hello, Lisa. You must have accidentally written your number down wrong. Took me forever to find you. I'm outside your place right now." Happy claps. Happy claps. I was doing a show and I asked this girl in the front row, I said, "What do you do for a living?" And her job was to artificially inseminate cattle. So when I asked her what she did for a living, instead of saying, "I artificially inseminate cattle," she said, "I'm a professional semen handler." That's the best pickup line I've ever heard. I happen to be a professional semen giver. I rent a lot of vehicles to go on the road for comedy, and here's what I'm going to do to entertain myself. I'm going to record my own CD, and I'm going to leave it in the rental for the next person. And when they turn on the vehicle, it's going to say, "Your mission," if you choose to accept it. I got to go to Montreal. Montreal's a beautiful city if you've ever been there. Yeah, it's really nice. They have a subway system in Montreal. It's called the Metro. I was riding it around this one rush hour. The platform is packed with people, and this announcement comes over the intercom. And the announcement went something like this. It was like, "Pamplemousse, Farajaka, I don't speak French, but they were saying something, okay? Everybody on the platform leaves. I'm standing there by myself. Like, could I have that in English? Por favor? Bibliothèque? Mm-hmm. I get home, I find out it was a bomb threat. Yeah, they might as well have said, "If you only speak English, au revoir." My mother is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. My mother is a saint. She is truly a wonderful person. I love it when she does something that makes her look like a bit of an asshole. But when I was a kid, we were over to a friend's place, and they were Jehovah's Witnesses. But my mom didn't know they were Jehovah's, picked up a pamphlet off their coffee table and said, "These assholes come to your place too, huh?" I tell that every time my mom's at a show. We got some family pictures done the other day. We were all in the car and we got a photo radar ticket. But my sister blinked, so we had to drive through again. In Edmonton, how they do the photo radar, they're vans. They park a van on the side of the road. So some friends and I decided to play a practical joke. We snuck up behind the photo radar van and we took the license plate off of it. We put it on the back of our vehicle. And we drove through the photo radar trap over and over at 150. Eventually, we got pulled over by the real police. I still thought this was pretty funny till Derek told them I had 2 pounds of hash in my ass. We did a show in a small town. It was called Paradise Valley. And in this small town, they had a hall, and the capacity of the hall was 210 people. Said right on the sign, capacity 210. Population of the town, 220 people. I thought this was great. I imagine every time they have a function, there's 10 people outside. You're like, "Oh, man. Looks really fun in there. Wish I would have got my tickets." I like doing small towns because you see cool things. We were doing a show in a small town, and the waitress, lovely girl, she had a cold sore right here, Little Herbie Simplex 3, right there. 5 guys in the bar, cold sore, other side, exact same spot. You can't fool me. I know what's going on here. Inbreeding. I try and stay friends with my ex-girlfriends. I don't know if that's a good idea, but I had an ex-girlfriend. It was her birthday last week. I bought her a bracelet. I even had it engraved, "Do not resuscitate." I don't do this much anymore, but when I was in high school, some friends and I were smoking a little marijuana in the vehicle. We get back to my house, run right into my dad. My dad said, "What the hell is that smell?" I said, we ran over a skunk on the drive home. Ran over a skunk. He said, "Yeah, was it smoking pot?" My favorite commercial right now is an A&W commercial where 2 couples go into an A&W and they order the burger family and they get the grandpa burger for the older guy and he puts 2 and 2 together. It's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a grandpa. I get it." I always wanted to see a second part added to the commercial where the husband wasn't aware of the pregnancy. He reaches over, takes 1 patty off her burger. It's a single mama burger. Thanks a lot, everybody. You guys have been beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen,